Okay, today I'm going to be tuning this Tesla coil I just built. So there's the primary turns, and there's the secondary. The secondary is tuned to 1/4 of the wavelength of the primary's frequency. This is not as efficient as a magnifying transmitter at transmitting electricity wirelessly. This coil is mainly made to generate sparks out of the top. Okay, so we will want our primary to ring out at a frequency of 168,000 hertz. And we will be trying to achieve this frequency with a 0.05 microfarad capacitor. So our inductance has to be a certain value to reach that frequency. So I have calculated the inductance we need, or a ballpark inductance we need, because math gets you close but not exact to real world. So the inductance needs to be 17.949 microhenries. Okay, first I'm going to measure the capacitance of this capacitor because it says that it could be within 5% of that value. But I want the exact value. Okay, the value of this capacitor is 44.71 nanofarads. So actually I'm going to make it easier for this coil, I'm going to calculate everything based off of the size of this capacitor. So instead of changing out this capacitor, I'm just going to lengthen or shorten the primary coil. And that will increase or reduce the inductance. So I've calculated that the inductance needs to be 20.06 microhenries with a capacitor of this size. That means I will be adding a little bit more turns. Okay, change of plans. I have decided to parallel another capacitor with this one. Here's the capacitor I will be paralleling with it. That will give me more capacitance, and then I can shorten the turns because I have decided that if I add more turns, it'll overhang the base. Okay, now I'm going to measure the values of these two capacitors paralleled because, like I said, math will only get you close to the real value of the capacitor. You have to measure it to know exactly what it is. Okay, so the capacitance is 56.73 nanofarads. So I've calculated we need an inductance of 15.723 microhenries. Okay, so even with this extra capacitance, I had to lengthen the coil just a tiny bit. So now it is in tune, or close to. We will see. Okay, so I have figured out the coil needs more power and a pulse spark gap, like a rotary spark gap. I have figured this out because when I pulse the power into the coil, if you'll watch that handle, you'll see sparks. Here we go. Okay, so I couldn't get enough power from that little bitty neon sign transformer, so I just connected it to my 50 kilovolt amp transformer. Okay, let's throw the switch.